included or etc. etc. But in spite of that, tribunal has given this judgment that you cannot disallow it simply on your assumptions etc. etc. You go to the RC of the purchase dealer, find out, and then only you can raise the objection. So this is something in between has developed. That is what I wanted to bring to your notice.
So what?
MRF is different because if not CSTI, radio electrical judgment is also something not giving clear idea, but this is what is coming out of that.
The what judgment you were given, the facts were little different. In that, motor car was included in the registration certificate. So judgment says once it is
no. In that, motor cars are not seen. That matter is remanded back to assessing authority to find out from the purchase certificate and then only to raise the issue if at all is applicable.
Motor car was written.
It was not there. What they say that we have seen it on the website of the purchase RC certificate and it is not available, something like that they have mentioned.
Chairman sir, but in the practical problem nowadays we are facing that Reliance Industries asking RC certificates with your commodities. If you are not submitting the RC certificate with the commodities, then they deny supply the material. But it is mandatory by the Reliance Industries. So we are facing that problem. So we have to submit
Legally, seller can sell any goods if there is a contravention, etc. It is buyer's responsibility. We have no right to even ask for the RC of the buyer. We are only entitled to ask for the C form if he wants concessional rate. I don't think go further. And suppose it's a matter of interpretation. Plant and machinery is written. Now whether this particular item is plant and machinery, how can I ascertain it? So there is no any logic in that. But tribunal has put the burden at least on the assessing authority. So at least time being you can take this shelter that let assessing authority verify and then come to you that these goods are not included. That's still how you have sold it, etc.
No, I beg to differ. What I'm saying is, we are having the registration certificate specific class of goods like chemicals of all types, associated machinery as per the CSTI. But Reliance Industries, IPCL, the major companies are saying that you have to specific the specific product. Let us take that potassium, hydrochloric acid, monopoly products. They say unless you incorporate the registration certificate, you will not supply the material. Now,
if the consultant of our Reliance is available here.
Yes.
No, well, basically I beg to tell you that basically we are getting worried when thinking that the production will get as it is sustained, it will get strong also.
Seller is now dictating his terms. That is up to him, and whether you agree with that is something different. But legally we can say that seller has no such burden according to me.
These are commercial terms.
Commercial.
They have vendor registration system. In that they won't. They have their
Guide करता है consultant उसको.
Last.
I would like to draw your attention and like some focus on this. 8.1 make what is told in 8.1. Every dealer who is in the course of interstate sale, trade or commerce, sales to a registered dealer. That means he should know that the purchasing dealer is a registered dealer. This is a compliance with mandate. Now, emphasis is put by Honorable Anil sir. Goods of the description referred to in subsection 3. That means he should also comply with this subsection 3.
What the Supreme Court has said that compliance has to be done in terms of the rules made. And CFM there is a clause saying that these goods are incorporated in my registration certificate. So that is sufficient for us to say that my sale is complete.
So in
Now
my
if there is a
opinion,
breach, it is the liability under penalty etc. on the buyer.
in my opinion, this only says that the seller has to ascertain himself first before dispatching the goods for interstate sale and get the confirm. That is what that person also told. Reliance. So in my opinion, it should be the duty of the seller
To find out.
prove and point out.
So there is a difference of opinion we can say. But while advising buyer, you can still say that don't trouble the seller.
Don't forget that you have another paper. Thereafter, there is a bill trust.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Chairman, the query number 7 is whether the dealer is entitled to obtain blank C forms in advance from the sales tax department. The group answered was a C form being a certificate can be issued only after the transaction of purchase is completed and the details are to be incorporated in the C form. And hence C form cannot be a blank C form or a C form cannot be obtained in advance from the sales tax department.
So it is a certificate after all and it should be given.
But certificate by whom? department? That is my question.
Still I will say there should be no. Because, no, why no? Because it has been attested by the department itself while issuing. So unless it is a complete C form, how can the department issue it?
Have you come across such procedure in the rule saying that he can only issue after it is attested, or it should be built up first and then it will be attested?
No.
So our right is there. Once I am a registered dealer, I am entitled to purchase a C form, so I should get the
So
form also.
what you say can be concluded that the purchaser can get blank C form from the department, but cannot issue blank C form.
Cannot issue.
There we can restore. Thank you.
Now you agree with me?
Why?
At least one issue here. Okay, friends, we have to move fast. And one person is also feeling hungry, so we'll go ahead.
I thank you all for it. Thank you. Thereafter, there is a gala night. Sir. Kalaji.
And is reliably participated here also.
Friends, आज का ये जो समारोह है और ये जो आरआरसी, इसके बारे में मेरे दिल की 2 लाइनें पढ़ रहा हूं। सागर में इतना पानी भी नहीं कि घाघर में भरा जाए, गुलिस्तान में इतने गुल ही नहीं खिले कि जो गुलदानी में सजाए जाए, चांद सूरज सितारों की रोशनी इतनी भी नहीं है कि जो हाथ में ना समेटी जाए। और अब जो मैंने वो कानून की कोई भी किताब में ऐसी धाराएं नहीं है जो हमारे आरआरसी का मुकाबला कर सके। धन्यवाद।
Please group 2. Group 2, Mr. Parth Badega.
Good afternoon to all the dignitaries on the stage and off the stage. Our group was given 7 queries, and most of them relate to the Circular 4D, which is colloquially passed by the Parliament in Mazgaon. Whether the works contractor, while executing a contract, can effect a sale by transfer of documents of title to goods. Well, the view here was that the works contract usually occurs by accretion, and in such a case, purely a 6-2 sale is not possible. But in case where the contract is divisible, in that case 6-2 or the transfer of documents to title of goods is permitted. So in that case, we should advise the clients or the contract should be designed or considered or treated in such a way that it is a divisible contract. In that case, it would be possible. Otherwise, it would not be possible. The query 2, Circular 4D of 2014, in para 4B, it is stated that 10 of the selling dealer should be valid to issue C form to the buyer, whether this condition is justified. Now again, if you go to 8.1, it says, when from the very start it says every dealer who enforce. So of course it is not justified, but then again the lawmaking powers which no one is aware of, which is entrusted with the commissioner, they have put such a rule and it will create hassle.
Justified or not?
No, it is not. It is not, because 8.1 says every dealer, the purchasing dealer has to be registered, but otherwise no.
So putting this condition in circular is not as per law.
3. Circular 40 of 2014 in para 4E, it is stated that 2 SROs and 3 with the permission will be allowed to be uploaded. Whether you agree with the above, if not, what is the legal position? Now why the question of 2 and the third one with the permission? In that case, they should say 1, it's just a number, and legally it is, you can of course apply for the fourth one also, because the transaction that you are actually talking about has of course occurred. So whether the commissioner can allow, yes, it's a procedural thing. It will create a problem. Now the question was further taken on, and what in case the commissioner does not allow? In that case, what would you do? Now our mentor Shri Gilani sir, he very rightly said, in that case, even if you have to go all the way to the High Court, you will at least have to show some due diligence from your part to try to get in writing from the additional commissioner or the commissioner, then why exactly is he not allowing the SOR to be uploaded? Because it is creating a lot of hassle, and it is an impediment to the trade.
I perfectly agree with Bob. They cannot stop you because as Manil said, you can have choice for each transaction also. Clubbing up to quarter is a given facility by the CST authorities. But otherwise you can obtain per transaction wise also. There is no harm in that. But now for convenience sake they are merging it and saying that you file 2 or 3 SR okay. But legally they cannot stop even if you require sometime 4th also or 5th also.
The fourth question is in Circular 4T in para 5C, condition about payment of dues under MBAT 2002 CST Act allied laws is mentioned. Whether you agree with this condition? Now, our paper writers has very well mentioned about RH Enterprises 85 STC 251 on page 44 that legally they cannot actually stop you from at best they can ask for a security or a guarantee, bank guarantee. So that is also the position of our group.
Latest judgment of Madras High Court in 40 VST that stopping issuing CFOM will lead to the closure of the business, which will affect Article 14 and 19. So they said that irrespective of dues are there not, you will pursue it separately, recovery, but you cannot stop the CFOM issue. So I think even in any case, while issuing they can take bank guarantee or whatever they want, that the power they have got, but they cannot stop it altogether. And after the transaction is over, then they cannot ask it that no, you should have given security. That is also not a law. So they can have to issue CFOMs once you are already effect the transaction.
Sir, I would like to add to that. Now, in case the same thing has happened and say they have automatically adjusted, there is an issue which is pending in one of your returns, and they have automatically adjusted the dues against the CFOM pending, and then they are sending you a defect notice. In that case, what would you do? While you are uploading the SOR, this is a practical thing that has come we have come across.
Okay.
So they will automatically just check that there is a certain due which is pending, and for that they will send you a defect notice. And so in that case, what would you do?
After issue of defect notice for that dues are pending, so they are not issuing. You have to reply that only for the dues you cannot stop my issue of CFOM. You can take help of the judgments also.
I would like to give some information. See, even in Hawala cases, because last week itself I got that. Even where there is, it is established that suppliers, Hawala suppliers at lakhs of crores of rupees. Now after this Madras High Court judgment, they have started issuing CFOM.
Now they are giving it,
Yes.
but those who are going strongly before the authority. If you go weakly, then they will say, Barkelao. You say that legally cannot stop, you give reply to my letter, then they are going to issue it.
Only thing
So prevail upon them, don't give any hit to them. That yes, this is my right, you have to issue it. Take legal steps for disallowing Hawala and whatever it is there. We will fight it legally. That's a different matter. Then they are issuing.
The 5 has 2 parts. The first part is in Circular 4T, para 6A, it is mentioned that the address and TIN number CST RC of branches outside Maharashtra are incorporated in the RC applicant, whether this condition is valid as per law. A group of the firm believe that yes, of course, I mean, if there are branches as per law, it is very much a reasonable thing for the department to know, and so it is a valid condition. Now the second condition, whether the condition will also apply to the consignment sent to the agent, and if yes, how to comply. Then if you go to Form A, the registration, the para 6, it nowhere mentions the address of the agents and all, and it is practically impossible for you to have the addresses of all the agents. So in that case, the condition will not be valid for law.
So for agent, you mean to say there is no need to mention all these things.
It is
They have
not
also not asked for the agent, actually they are only for the branch and branches. So agent we can still say that it is not mentioned circular, so don't ask for it. But even for the branches also, according to me, they cannot put this condition. Branch may be unregistered. What is wrong? I have to supply to them and they can take benefit of branch transfer. How they can ask that your branch should be registered if I want to issue them a form? So according to me, this requirement is not according to me.
Para 6, in para 4 of page 42, the learned paper writer has observed about non-allowing of branch branch transfer claim if the goods are marked with stamps. Whether this can be said to be a concluding situation or whether the distinction is possible. If yes, the circumstances are the same. Now, our group discussed 32 STC 629 of Kelvinator, wherein a certain refrigerator was marked and sent to different states for storing the various cold drinks, products and juices. Now in that case too, yes, I mean it is the transfer was as a result of agreement to sale, and they have a right to refuse on checking or on verifying the same. So in that case, even if there are markings of the company, it still cannot you still cannot deny branch transfer.
Correct. I also agree. Unless it is very specifically and that is delivered, maybe issue. But suppose you are having standing order for supply of goods and you are also marking while sending it, but still as Anil Bhai explained, standing means only stock is made as and when the exact requirement comes, you are ascertaining the goods. According to stamping will also not make difference there. That is what we can discuss here.
Whether goods purchased against C-form in Maharashtra can be used in other states. Of course, there are two situations here. If the parties are registered in both the states, then of course it will be a very easy situation in that case. They can of course use it. Now, in case the party is not registered in one of the states, he can still use it. They can issue the C-form from Maharashtra and have the delivery address in the other state.
So there is distinction between being registered both the places. It will make a difference.
It will not make a difference. You can use it in the other state. You can stop that.
So in both the cases we can use it. No?
Yeah, you can use it.
No. Why not? But you have given some confusing signals or what? One, you have said that if they are registered
You can
in both
use
the
it in
states.
both the cases. I'm just saying two different
So
situations.
there is no difference.
There is no difference.
Once I have purchased goods even in Maharashtra using my C-form, I am entitled to use it anywhere.
Yes.
And there is no any contravention of that. That is what we want to convey. Is it okay? Raju bhai, nahi? Why? Why not? Well, registered, but I purchased, I deliver goods here, so I am entitled to issue C-form here. Now, after my purchase is over, if I transfer it to some other state and use it in manufacture or sell it there, what is the contravention in that? No, suppose Jagdar sir, goods are delivered in Pune. Sorry.
Rule 12 clearly says if the dealer is not registered in the state where he received the goods, in that situation he can give the C-form from the state where he is registered. So in that case, listen very much, according to him, if that dealer is registered in both the state, then under that circumstances, he cannot give the C-form from the state of Maharashtra.
I am not asking about giving C-form. After effecting purchase against C-form, can you transfer some other state and use it there or not?
Yes, of course.
So that is what the question is.
No.
It may be branch transfer, but what is wrong is issuing C-form.
Either use for sale or use manufacture. Sale as defined is under CST Act. They read all over India. The sale, you go through the definition of sale.
It is all over India.
All over India. That is that.
So even if you transfer to some other state and use it there, I think according to that is So Raju bhai, you are now convinced?
So we meant to say the answer is yes for both, but we just visualize both the situations. That was a part of the discussion of the group.
Okay, so we can.
I thank the chairman and the paper writer to give me this opportunity.
Gilani sahib. Yes sir. Mentor of this group 2.
competition, I was only having 10 years experience in the field. But still I made an effort. Some of my friends said, why you are wasting your time? Anyway, that is a side story. But I got the first prize in that essay. So if I were the author of the Celtex Act, and Shantibai, who is the senior, Anil Bhai's senior, for his knowledge, I am telling him that Shantibai of Pune got the second prize in the subject of if I were the author of this Celtex Act. So this copy I am giving to both the learned speaker and this thing. And as regards the Shantibai's, essay, you may refer to the library and 69 February or March you will get it, because they were published in the ST Review also. So now coming to the issue of fonts, in that essay also I had written that there are two major things and drawbacks which gives rise to the Bhraštachar. And that is why I had suggested that no form should be there, 14 number, 15 number, 16 number, 17 number, all should be given by, gone by. And secondly, set of provision should be given also given by, and instead of that, there should be multiple tax of 2 or 3% on each transaction. So there may not be temptation of selling the goods without bills.
Group 3, I call upon Mr. Amol Shirode to give his group's view.
Good afternoon to everybody. I will write the posers first. I'll read. One number is whether a bus contractor while executing a contract can affect sale by transfer of documents of title to goods. On this poser we have discussed and narrated the briefing that there cannot be a 6-2 from one contractor to a contractor directly, but supplier can avail the 6-2 while selling it to the contractor. And if in any particular contract, when there is any particular transaction or any condition to the contractor for supply, then it can be happen. Then in that case, the worst contract could have 6-2 transaction. Then poser number 2, where dealer has effected purchases from one vendor by different bills, which he has sold by transfer of documents to one buyer. He has prepared one sale bill covering sales against above different purchase bills. Whether claim under section 6.2 is allowable or not. I will read the third one also because there is a common answer to it. In one situation where vendor has dispatched goods by different LRs but has prepared one invoice, buyer has sold goods by transfer of documents and prepared separate sale bills for each quarter of documents, whether sale eligible for exemption under section 6.2. For this, yes, we can, in both the cases, we can transfer the.
Yes, both the cases can effect harm.
Yes.
I agree with that. In both the cases, there is no harm, but this issue based etc. are doing some objection to that, and they are disallowing certain time. That is why we have this issue.
And in question 4, the party has dispatched back goods after job work, which was contract to his customer. The job worker is asking for F forms as well as C forms from the customer. Whether the requirement is valid, whether customer can obtain both C form and F form from his sales tax authority to be supplied to job work. In this, if the job work is was contractor, then only C form is required. And in other cases where the job work is only the job work is done, then F form is only required. Hence, here in the second case, it is assumed that the job worker is not a works contractor and he is doing only the job work portion.
So friends, understand this because this issue has arisen. That suppose you are receiving goods from other state at your place and you are working upon that as a job worker. If you use your goods in that, it is liable to as a works contract. they are returned, you should have F form. On one hand, you are also liable as a works contractor because you have transferred your own goods in that works contract. If it is a pure labor job work, and there is only F form, there is no problem. So whether it is valid to ask for both and whether they can obtain both or not. Group 3 says that no, it is only ask for C form. Then what will happen about the job work goods returned back? Yes.
Let's look at this thing with an example. 1 lakh material is transferred from Maharashtra to a Gujarat job worker. He puts in 10,000 material. He has another 10,000 as his labor charge. So when the goods come back, it is worth 1,20,000. When the goods go, the raw material, the stock transfer advice for job work unit, goods worth of 1 lakh gone. Now let's look at when it comes back, what invoices would you receive? That is how the entire controversy arises. You will receive invoice of 20,000 for job work charges along with transfer of property of 10,000. And you will receive the stock transfer advice of the total value of 1,20,000 because in excise, he would have cleared the goods for 1,20,000. In this light, the entire controversy should be seen. The income in the hands of the job worker is only 20,000 rupees. So he is booking the sale as only 20,000 in his books of account. Now for which he would say that it is a CST transaction, so I would want to recover CST on 20,000 rupees. To that extent, C form can be issued. Would you say that the same goods which were received back is the same goods which were sent? So an answer is no. It is typically no. The processed goods are received back. So what was dispatched was raw material, what is received, and what is received back is a processed goods, for which a form need to be given.
So we will
Now, ideally speaking, C form for 1,20,000 should be given as a whole, and the tax should be charged only on 20,000. Now, I know I am wrong. I am just posing the question.
But are you going to pay tax on 1,20,000?
Absolutely no. I will issue the C form for only 20,000 only, because that is what is my purchases. So what is ended up is that would I be also required to issue a form for 1 lakh rupees which is received back? Because there is no entity of the original